Hey guys, welcome back to On the Road and Truck Simulator gameplay, and gameplay number 6 now, of course. And so welcome back to Brutal, not Brutal. And I think we're in Berlin at the moment actually, and yeah, we're in Berlin, and so hopefully you guys are doing well. And yesterday, I did a really nice, a really cool gameplay with Metalhead Trucking, and of course, and I'm pretty much then continuing where we left off pretty much on yesterday, and since the last gameplay I've not done any else since. So yeah, pretty much, yeah, I've just been talking about heavy metal and local bands and about the genre itself yesterday. I just got a wee bit. And yesterday I think I just got a wee bit sort of mixed up in my deliveries, because I just done sort of local deliveries a lot in tier, like multi-drop sort of thing, so I did that, a wee bit of that, and yesterday I was just trying to wait for some actual deliveries, but then I just square it and just do stuff around here pretty much. But yeah, I'm going to get on to part 2 of this series now, part 2 of the Metalhead Trucking. And so I think what we'll talk about on the second one, we'll talk about me in the band and how I started being in the band and what things happen in the band. So let's do Hanover, as that's a decent journey. I'll do that, go for that. And so yeah, and me as a metalhead, then we'll talk about me in a band and how and stuff like that, how I started being in the band and that. So yeah, of course we're gonna do that and this on this second part, of course. So I'll pretty much then talk completely off the game and all about heavy metal, of course. So yeah, if you were watching the last video, then I was talking about bands and local metal bands and get this, yeah, local metal bands, and I was talking about some bands from, of course, in Scotland and that as well. I was talking about some Scottish metal bands. I was mentioning a wee list of them on yesterday's one, and what's the scope for it. And so yeah, and so I think today what we'll talk is we'll talk about me being in the band, and we'll talk about how things went along in bands and that as well. I mean, because I've been in a few projects, not just the one band. I mean, I've been doing a bit of band stuff, jamming and practicing and that, and a few projects, projects just sort of one-to-one sort of jamming, not actual projects that never really took off pretty much. But you're sort of when it's your sort of thing what you need to do, you usually would then put an ad on and a band website or something like that, so an advert on there, so you like sort of an ad up. So I did a bit of that for some time. I mean, trying to find members for a band and that, and I'll join a band and that. I was doing a bit of that for a wee while, and obviously a lot of that was quite and it was a bit of wasn't a straightforward thing to do. I mean, as I say, it's not right, you just get fined someone, and you obviously when you find someone, you're not likely to, I mean, you're likely to have a few jam sessions, but then obviously if it never happens again, then obviously they don't like to do that again, of course. So obviously that's the thing about that sort of thing. I mean, you obviously got a few things to do. I mean, of course, when I did it, and I've met a few musicians doing it. I've probably met quite a lot of them, just in general. Like, I mean, it's a popular thing. I mean, lots of people seem to be doing that. I mean, when the time I was doing it, I was looking for members for my project, But yeah, that never really took off much. I mean, I've met a good amount of members, but a lot of these members just never really worked out, to be honest. And a lot of these members actually just they only actually wanted to just play briefly. So, and yeah, I never, like, it was sort of like a one-off sort of jam. So that's how things like that started. But yeah, but most of the time it never really worked out for me very well, and like I've put an ad and starting a band that way. I mean, of course, the main thing is you're meeting people that you don't know as well, and it's hard to just do something when you're just meeting someone that you don't know. It's a bit of a thing. You're just kind of pushing on day one, and you want to meet someone and play a band. Yeah, it's obviously quite a bit of a thing just to get to know these people a bit more as well, and building that sort of a friendship with people and that as well, and doing that as well. I mean, but yeah, I mean, yeah, I've had quite a lot of people I've been doing that time. This is back in 2016, I believe, and I did all this, and yeah, I think I did it for like a year, and then I just gave up on it. And then something else out of the blue happened, and obviously I had a guitar teacher, a really nice guitar teacher. I mean, pretty much was actually eventually we were pretty much good pals together as well. So we actually got on really well at the end of the day. We actually, and of course then that's how I went guitar from my friend, of course. Then so obviously as I say, so he was just really nice in that. We had then a great time playing together, playing Metallica covers. I mean, obviously we kind of jammed together as well, when just then as doing like guitar lessons and that, we were actually doing a bit of that as well, because he was into Metallica and I was into Metallica, so we played Metallica covers. So yeah, but my guitar teacher was pretty amazing what he does. He got me into another project. He actually got in touch with a drummer during the time as well, and we actually managed to get onto some new project, which actually seemed to work out a lot better, because we did actually a couple good jams in that project. So and also it was really nice because we actually had of course the guitarist was actually from Dog Tired. This was really nice. So we actually had a drummer and we had a guitarist, and he was actually in Dog Tired, of course. The Dog Tired guitarist, I should say, which was actually amazing because he's an awesome guitarist. This like dingbat pretty much, soca like pretty much. It's really cool. It inspires this sort of dingbat sort of look. But yeah, we did have a great jam together, but it only lasted a month, and then that sort of folded up. That was like the best. I think that was one of the best ones we actually got. For my jam sessions, a lot of the time it's just like a one-off thing, and it never happens again. And then I actually got quite a few jams for about, I think I did that for maybe a month or two. But that was just a great one. I enjoyed that one probably the most, I think, because we actually had the demo as well. We actually had the demo all sort of written down and done, recorded and that as well. And I've actually, I don't remember the name of it again, but we sounded like we were a black metal band, like sort of an old school sort of black metal, death metal sound. Thrash metal sound, as you say, and sort of thrashy, maybe like Venom or something. We kind of sounded like that a wee bit. Because I think a demo, or I actually don't remember the name of a demo, and the demo of a band that. So but we did a great demo. We only just recorded it, and then that was it. Like, we were working on a follow-up song, but that never actually we finished, folded up the before the session all folded up, and obviously there was no more. But we did that. We actually had a vocalist as well in the band, and of course vocalist and a bit gothy type vocalist. And you can see how good he was in the vocals as well. I think he had a demo. It's just really good actually. We actually did a really good. We'd actually got a song recorded. But yeah, when we also didn't get any name, we didn't get out there much. Obviously, our band, of course. This what has happened to this truck? This truck's just come at a standstill. There's traffic lights up here, isn't there, or something? I don't even see where it just stopped like that. This is the problem, the traffic just instantly stops. But yeah, I'm not going to keep talking about the games much, but yeah. But we did a great demo. I mean, I'm trying to figure out the name of it, that's the thing. I don't know the name of the demo, I mean. But yeah, I've actually played it a few times on my radio show, because I do a radio show nowadays as well. That's something else, and I play lots of metal bands from around the world to actually do a radio show as well, and sort of a volunteering radio station that I do, and a DJ on that. So I was also play that track on my show, and of course, so yeah, I played that demo on the show a few times as well. So yeah, I just forgot the name of it. So yeah, at least we got a demo recorded during that session, but it unfolded obviously, and we obviously we didn't have much of a name to ourselves. So usually when you're playing and jamming in a band or a new band, starting a band, you don't really get yourselves out there until you play a gig. And then obviously that's how it works usually. So you're kind of in the sort of out of nowhere, you're sort of in the rehearsal space, and that you're sort of in the depths of the underground pretty much. And that's how bands start. And this thing has just stopped. But yeah, that's something that's obviously happens as well. You can get loads of bands out there that just do the same thing what I did. They never take themselves off. I should do my mother's before turning out there, and they never really get themselves out there, out to the public as much when you're doing all that. It's a bit in closed doors. So yeah, you're just then sort of taking it easy. I mean, as you say, I think this project just went a bit too far, I think, and obviously our drummer just wasn't up for doing it again, so that was it. And obviously that just disbanded pretty much after that, after we did our demo pretty much. That was the only good thing about it, we got a demo out there. I mean, obviously I don't think many of you guys will know the song. It's not really, obviously, or maybe you don't know if any of you guys have heard my radio show that I do, and of course I played it on the show, and of course as I say, I played it like a few times, and yeah, I don't know if it's not really like it's been out publicly, so it's not like we're going to play the song again or that, or listen to the song again. So it's pretty much dead in the water at the moment, dead in the water now, this project. So that was it. So yeah, but it was a good opportunity to get Dodd Tyler's guitarist in this project. It was just absolutely amazing. That was probably the best thing about the band, is getting the guitarist and Dodd tired in. That's great. It was great stuff. And yeah, we didn't have any bass player in this project either. So we had the vocalist, we had myself on guitar, we had Luke, our guitarist. We also had the vocalist Lewis, of course, I think his name is, and then Thomas was our drummer, and Luke was the guitarist and when Dodd tired. So yeah, and then that was it. Pretty much. So this chat's just filling in on that way, and I'm gonna have to. I'll just do this. Yeah, and yeah, it was the project was all done with pretty much in a month. So yeah, So, but apart from that, I moved on from that obviously and went on some other jams and other bands as well. I met this guitarist, this other guitarist. He was into sort of weird Japanese sort of music. He likes a bit of that, like Japanese bands. He likes the unusual sort of run-of-the-mill bands as well. I met this guitarist, and he was pretty cool, and I think he was actually originally from Newcastle actually, but he lives in Edinburgh, of course. So I met him as well, and I didn't actually meet him on an ad, but I just met him and of course just on the socials and that pretty much. So it was just nice to meet him, and he was up for jamming, so we did that. And we actually had a great jam because we were playing Metallica covers as well, and he plays Metallica covers. He plays guitar, of course. But yeah, of course, he likes lots of Japanese music, lots of Japanese disco rock bands. I don't think he likes like baby metal or Bloodstone Cherry. I can't remember what they're called again. Bloodstone Cherry. I think it's Bloodstone Cherry or something. Bloodstone Throne, I think, and they're called Japanese band. I'm getting confused, but there's a band, a melodic death metal band, Bloodstained Child. That's it. That's the band I'm thinking of. Like all these Japanese bands. I don't think he was into that stuff as much. I might be wrong. But he probably does like that stuff. He likes a lot of Japanese. He said he collects weird Japanese records and vinyl as well. Like he was into all that as well. But yeah, he was a great guitarist. But that was the same as well. That never really caught on. So I think we had a couple of jams together, and then that just unfolded as well, of course. So yeah, so we've got like a studio and that as well, like in town and that we did it as well. It's a nice studio that we have and that as well. So we did that. I mean, but that never actually. Obviously that never really unfolded quite quick as well. But yeah. But I think after that, I just really gave into this, just gave away from the band stuff a bit as well, because I didn't really do any more jams. I think this was 2017. I think this happened, and then 2018 something happened. I met of course I met someone at one of the pubs in town and that, and we instantly became good friends quite easily, quite quickly, and he plays guitar, of course. But yeah, of course he was of course actually one of the best. So one of the best jams that we've had actually from this friend. But yeah, he's called Cormac. He's a great pal, and he plays guitar, and we sort of met at one of the pubs in town and that as well, which is great. And so we did that. We actually had we didn't get a jam straight away, but we just got to know each other a bit more. So it was a bit more sort of just getting to know each other a bit rather than getting straight into the band, because this wasn't actually, obviously, and this wasn't by an advert. This was just by accident that he wanted to do a band. He wanted to start a band or jam, so we did that, and we also got in touch with a few of the members. I got in my friend Pete as well, and of course he actually does the same thing. He volunteers and does the same radio, does the same thing in the same as me, works on the same radio station, of course. And so yeah, of course, and I mean volunteers in the same radio station as us, so, and as me, I should say. So we got him on vocals, which is amazing, and of course, so we did that, and then we got a bass player too. And we also got Dave on drums, so it was a great experience. I mean, this was probably the best one we got, because we actually got songs done. We actually had a couple of practice sessions, and we actually got a gig booked as well. We actually got more towards playing a gig, and we did that as well. So we obviously got to know each other a bit. So we got to know each other and that, and obviously this was like straight in the studio and that as well. When you're doing a bit of the actual band stuff, it's a bit more straightforward usually, and you kind of want to get more time to actually sort of know a bit more of each other rather than doing this, getting straight into doing stuff like music, jams and gigs. So we did that. I mean, but that was the best thing, because we also got a gig booked, and we actually played at one of our venues in town as well. It was just a great experience to do that, because a lot of that has been inaccessible. I mean, just me and us as a band, and that, it was just, you think it'd just be nerve-wracking to do all this stuff, go there, play, get out stage, play in front of fans. You wouldn't think it would be a awkward thing to do, and so you would think that as well. I mean, that's the thing. So I mean, but that's what we did. I was just really looking forward to doing a gig. So we actually did that. We got up there, we got on stage, we just pretty much jammed to played Metallica pretty much all the way through, Nassau Band. We did that, and then I came up with a song called Medicines of Death, which I actually did myself on guitar, and so that's a bit more sort of thrash metal, just because we were kind of thrashy anyway. We didn't really go for punsicle or any other genre. I mean, Medicine of Death was a great track. I mean, just then it was just a sort of slow sort of groove to it, and then we got a wee sort of fast, chuggy, thrashy bit halfway through the song. I did a wee fast 200 beats per minute sort of bit, and then obviously we changed sort of beats, we went to a sort of slow, moderate beat. I mean, yeah, if you go obviously, and if you check out on my YouTube channel, you see our band Midge. Actually my dad was actually at that gig that night as well, and he filmed it all for me as well, so it was really good. It was a great gig, and we actually finished the set off with one of the bell tones, and of course by Metallica as well, another classic. So we did a bit of that, and we just played 3 songs for quite a quick set. I mean, it was a first experience, so also if you want to play a gig, we kind of started off sort of a sort of slipped back sort of thing. Like, we didn't have any pyro stuff with that going on at all. I mean, other bands, I don't think you would do pyro at the start, and then eventually when they play bigger stages or bigger concerts and that, they get their pyro stuff all going and that, if they want it. But yeah, I mean, just a great set. I enjoyed that. I think this was like the most successful band, the most successful that we actually been. Myself being in the band, obviously it's the best I think I've got to playing a gig. But yeah, we only played that one gig, and then we just called it a day after that. That was it. So I just felt like it was just enough to do me, I think. And I think I might get back into doing it in the future, but I'm not too fast to like rushing getting a band going again. It's because I mean, you just want to get to know people more than actually starting a band. Personally, like, you just want to take it as you are, take it slowly, get everything all going, not rush it through and make a mess of it at the end of the day, like what most of these projects never really went off anyway. So of course, so that was the most I got to. So Midge was a successful project that we did. So we're just a wee stripped out band. I mean, we as a band, we were just a restricted band in that we're just quite basic what we do, and that we weren't really extreme with that as well. I mean, if we maybe got a bit more into doing things, recording an album, an EP, or whatever you call them, we would get into more actually enjoying stuff and actually appreciating a lot of these stuff and that as well. I mean, but yeah, I just moved away from the band stuff now at the moment now, so I might get back into doing that in the future. But yeah, I need to find a place to rest. I should actually, what I should do in this game, I should then pull myself up to a service station. We'll go up this one at 500 meters. There's one coming up. We'll pull in there. We'll take a wee quick pit stop, and then we'll head off to Hanover after this. But yeah. I hope I mean, that's the thing about it. So we got there, we did a project, and obviously, as this side, you just think we'll just put the band stuff to one side at the moment, and then I just really focus on doing my radio shows, my sort of radio stuff and community radio stuff. So I'll just stick with that at the moment. So it's a nice quiet end services. It's myself, the only truck in the place. So yeah, so what we'll do is we'll set the tachograph in and get all this all set up, go for a sleep here, and I'll continue away. And after this, so let's then head off, and let's get the lights up. But yeah, that was it now. So I just moved away from the band stuff, the music stuff now, and just focus on doing my community radio stuff, just as a thing, just getting interviewing bands and doing all that. I was pretty much interviewing metal bands on my community radio station, and that is, it's just a great thing as well. I always like to do stuff like that, meet other bands as well. I mean, I know you do that when you're at a gig and that, but it's always a good thing to do it when you want to interview bands, to meet bands, and also that way as well you can sort of make a sort of friendship together as well. Not even if you're not playing in the band or want to be in the band, you can always meet bands at pubs and that, or meet metal fans, metalheads there as well. And it's always usually the thing you do when you go to these places, when there's a metal band playing at night or something, and if you want to meet them, you can see them there. And usually a lot of the bands usually hang in the pubs. They're always just staying, hanging around, and usually not going too far. I mean, just obviously if you want to be in a big band, it's difficult to meet your sort of fans there. I mean, if you want to meet like Dave Mustaine or something, you have to like go to a sort of VIP lounge or something to do all that. So, but if you're obviously at a gig and then a local gig, you're quite easy to hook onto members from bands quite easily, because they're there to enjoy the gig as well. They're not there to go away after the gig when they see unless they're needing to do something, but usually they would, what's the gig, what's the bands. So we played with Anaxor as well, and we're playing for Anaxor, and so that was then Dave's our bands. Of course Dave was in our band as well, so he was our drummer. We had Kommander on guitar. We had I can't remember the bass player's name, so I had to pronounce his name for my bass player, so I can't really mention his name properly. So our bass player was really cool as well. And of course we had Pete on vocals, and of course he's the one that does volunteers at the community radio station as well, like myself. So he does the same as me, plays metal music as well, heavy metal like myself, and that's what I'm doing in my radio shows. So I can always talk about that as well. And of course, because I do community radio, volunteer at community radio station, and I play metal bands, play lots of metal bands when around the world on my station, lots of local bands, lots of big bands, lots of bands you've probably not heard of, lots of our local bands as well, of course, not just like bands from like bands from like from here, but bands from around the world. So you'll hear bands from South Africa. I played some Australian bands as well. I played some bands from Greece as well. Greece and Turkey and that as well. I played some Turkish metal as well. And played some bands. I played some Indian metal bands as well. Not played Indian bands for a while, but I played some Indian metal bands. So played a few great bands on my station. So we'll get into that as well. So radio station, community radio station, and yeah, I can also just mention on this stream as well. And I don't know if I should mention or not, or I don't think it matters really, but yeah, we're pretty much called Sam Radio, not as in Sam as, of course, Sam and name of the person is called Sam. The one's the station. It's, of course, actually stands for Scottish Autistic Media. And that's the saying the Sam stands for Scottish Autistic Media. So it's not Sam. It's not named after Sam at all. It's just then obviously called Sam Radio because it's obviously Sam, but it's not named after Sam at all. And it's Scottish Autistic Media. So we cool community radio station, autistic radio station as well. Of course, world's first autistic radio station, of course, as well. This is really good. So, and yeah, I mean, it's just a great thing to do. I mean, of course, because I've had some bands on. I've even had some of my bandmates on the station as well, so you can probably go through. I've had a couple of the members from our band on as well. So I've had Dave on, I've had Pete on, I've had Cormac on. I've had a few of my bandmates on. I don't think we had the bass player on. No, we didn't get him on. I've had a few other friends on as well, because I've interviewed a few bands as well. I had Nassau on my station as well. This is really good. Nassau, and the band named after the Bahamas, and Nassau, don't know that name. But they're great. I mean, I've had them on the station, and they're awesome what they do. I mean, they're just really techie as well. They have some really good techie, complex techie bits, and they have like sort of black metal sort of sound. I just think they just go for whatever they feel like. They don't have like a specific genre. I mean, just they feel like they do this, and it sounds heavy and it sounds cool. And from a personal aspect, then they're just great what they do. When they've not heard this band before, then they're like really tight and complex as well. Like they now, like, their songs are quite long. Their songs have got very lengthy songs as well, and they can able to do lots of different things in their songs. It's just nice what they do. So yeah, I've had them on the show. I had a band called Midnight Force as well. They're from Glasgow, and my friend actually, I'm talking about Midnight Force, and the drummer in that band I know because one of my teachers in the school actually is, and that's pretty much his, and of course that was his, and he used to visit school and that as well, and in the long lane, then he go that way, and on this one. So, but yeah, he was just a great musician. I've had them Midnight Force on, and they're quite sort of traditional metal sound. And they sound like they've got a sort of more classic sort of sound going on there as well, like just old school classic rock. But yeah, they're great what Midnight Force do, so I had them on the show. So this is more like radio station talk as well, band talk, radio station. And next I could always talk about festivals, and maybe in my next part actually. And